Around 4 p.m. on May 23, 2019, a terrified man called the Tokyo police, and when the police arrived at the scene, they saw a horrific sight. A naked and bloody body lying on the floor of a hotel lobby, and a young woman covered in blood. She sat next to her, calmly smoked a cigarette and talked on the phone. Let's try to figure out how this could happen in one of the safest countries in the world. This story begins in October 2018 in Tokyo, Japan. 21-year-old Yuka Takaoka lived in the Shinjuku area. It is known for its crowded clubs, karaoke bars, and premium restaurants. She dropped out of university at 19 to become a Hostess bar manager in Shinjuku. Hostess bars are very popular establishments in the nightlife industry in East Asia. Hostess employees usually serve drinks, give compliments, and have a pleasant dialogue with the client. On top of that, Yuka was a fan of anime. On Twitter and Instagram, she often posted photos of her cosplay of her favorite characters. Yuka was quite shy. This is the same type of personality when a person is not very talkative at first. But over time, as trust grows and relationships strengthen, he begins to open up. No one ever expected any trouble from her. All her friends spoke of her as a calm and extremely cute girl. It should be noted that one of Yuki's favorite types of cosplay was Yandere. The word Yandere refers to a mentally unstable anime character. Usually these are girls whose abnormality practically does not manifest itself under ordinary conditions. But for the sake of their lover, they are ready to literally do anything. One October day, during her shift at the same Hostess bar, she met a 20-year-old man named Phoenix Luna. Phoenix also worked at the nearby Host bar. Host bars are similar to Hostess bars except that they cater to a female clientele. Outside of the Host bar, Phoenix was extremely popular in Shinjuku and even appeared on the Wall of Honor as many girls returned to the same bar for him. Thus, Yuka and Phoenix worked in the same industry. They understood each other perfectly, not only as men and women but also professionally. Later, they began coordinating their schedules with each other to spend time together outside of work. Eventually, they became friends. Yuki's unusual attraction to the object of her admiration is evidenced by the pages of diaries and notebooks that she dedicated to the guy. As these meetings continued over the following weeks and months, the two grew closer and eventually began dating. Even though they met whenever their schedules allowed, work created tension between them. Although Yuka and Phoenix worked in the same field, Phoenix preferred to make money by flirting with women in bars. It's not hard to imagine that this led to jealousy. With each passing month, Yuka became more and more obsessed with the Phoenix. As a result, the jealousy became even stronger, and Yuka began checking his cell phone and spying on him. Sometimes she would go to the bar where he worked and pay him over $9,000 to literally buy a month's worth of service. Every month, all this was done in order to keep women away from their beloved Phoenix. Several months have passed since they started dating. Everything went surprisingly well, and despite some misunderstandings, they were happy. Yuka continued to work at the Hostess bar. She took a couple of days off work to get her hotel room in order. That day, she called Phoenix and offered to come and help her put on her cosplay costume. Phoenix arrived at her home later than she expected because he had a long shift. When he came in, he was very tired. He ran a bath, lay down, and fell asleep. At this moment, Yuka checked her boyfriend's cell phone again. She found a photo of Phoenix with another girl. This revelation just made Yuka angry, considering she had noticed how cold Phoenix had been towards her the past couple of days. She compared this with photographs and accepted them as evidence of betrayal. When Phoenix woke up, he went to the bedroom and climbed into bed, trying not to wake Yuka, who seemed to be already asleep. A moment later, he fell asleep. After a while, Phoenix suddenly felt a sharp discomfort in his stomach. Opening his eyes, he looked down and saw a knife sticking out of his stomach. Waking up abruptly, he looked back in horror and saw Yuka looming over him. Driven by adrenaline, he pushed her away, jumped off the bed, and ran out of the room. Yuka chased and grabbed him. Phoenix freed himself from Yuki and ran to the elevator, losing a lot of blood. The elevator doors closed and Phoenix moved to the first floor. When the doors opened, Phoenix rushed forward. When he had almost reached safety, Phoenix lost consciousness. Yuka caught up with Phoenix. He was lying in the middle of the hotel lobby. He was covered in blood. At that moment, one of the passers-by noticed the terrible scene and immediately informed the police. When the police arrived, Yuka was sitting next to Phoenix's body, covered from head to toe in blood, smoking a cigarette while calmly talking on the phone. Before the police arrived, she wrote a letter in Phoenix's blood. "I love you," she wrote again and again. When the Tokyo police realized what was happening, Yuka was immediately detained. When the policeman asked Yuka about the reason, she replied, "I was sad and seeking to die, and I thought how I would like to go about it," she said. "I thought I would kill him because I thought that was how I could be with him. I thought that expressions such as, 'I like you' and 'I would like to be with you' would become a reality if we both die." Many witnesses saw the police escort Yuka to the police car, and when she sat down there, she smiled. As for the victim, Phoenix Luna was alive at this point, but hanging on by a thread. When police and paramedics arrived at the scene, he had not yet died from his injuries. He was taken to a local hospital and was in a coma, with only a 20% chance of survival. But on July 1st, a little over a month after the incident, to everyone's surprise, Phoenix was alive and on the mend. He tweeted a message to friends and fans, "Sorry, but I'm alive and back." Then he added, "My liver was stabbed with a knife so that now I can't drink." After surviving the horrific experience, survivor Phoenix agreed to be interviewed. In that interview, he did not show any hatred towards Yuki. On the contrary, when asked why he treated her this way, he replied that he did not hold a grudge against her. In fact, he even believes that this incident increased his popularity and reunited him with his siblings. "I think she had a reason to hit me. Also, thanks to her, I was able to achieve the sales that I achieved in less than a year since I became a presenter," Luna said in an interview. Relatives who were contacted by police after the stabbing came to see him at the hospital. "I met my older brother and older sister for the first time in 5 years," he said. "I look forward to keeping in touch with them in the future." On Thursday, December 5, 2019, a judge sentenced Yuka to 3.5 years in prison for attempted murder, despite Phoenix pleading with the judge to reduce the sentence. Also, a condition reducing her time behind bars was the payment of 5 million yen to Phoenix. At her hearing, the judge stated that, "If possible, I want people to continue to lead normal lives rather than pay for their sins." After Yuki's assassination attempt and imprisonment, she gained a whole community of fans. Most of them are fans of anime culture who deeply admire it. She's called Yandere in real life. Takaoka was released from prison in 2023. She live streams games and posts cosplay photos. Fans praise Yuki's appearance, bombard her with comments, and doesn't seem to mind that she tried to kill a man. What do you think of this story? Thank you for your attention. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.